Alright guys, we're back out here in the garage to work on the dart. It's finally warmed up to about 20-25 degrees, which is about 40 degrees warmer than it has been for the last couple weeks. Finally. We're out here to work on the dart, but we're not going to be working in the garage today. Today's project, I am going to take this rear axle, I'm going to bring it into my work, and so I can use the plasma. I'm going to cut out my diff brace. I got a sheet of quarter inch thick steel plate right here. So I'll be actually cutting out two of these diff braces, and I'll sandwich weld them together. That way I know, sure, quarter inch should probably be strong enough, but I'll make it half inch so that I know it'll be strong. I know it ain't gonna bend, because that's gonna be the whole weight of the vehicle will be riding on this section of the axle shaft now. So I want it to be strong. I don't want no flex in it, because rear ends for these cars are getting harder to find. Granted, I could take and do what a lot of people do and go with 488 swap, but then I'd have to get another axle, buy another axle shaft, shorten it and all that, and I really don't want to do that. Although I do have another axle. Well, actually, right now, it is in that red Dakota there. I actually got an A-body rear axle in that, so I could 5-lug swap it. But I'll be swapping that back out, putting the original rear axle in it with 5-lug shafts, and then the dart rear axle will be actually going in that 46 Dodge truck right there, which is actually sitting on a 88 Dodge Dakota frame with a slant 6 in it, just to be, you know, different, change it up from all the V8 swaps. But that's today's project. I'll get this loaded up. I was finally able to borrow the work truck too, since I don't think the dually has ever seen salt. It's a Texas truck, so I don't think it's ever seen salt. My buddy, I don't think ever drove it in the wintertime, so I want to keep it nice and clean and rust free. And well, that thing's just a pile of shit, full of snow in the back. And the rear axle for the red Dakota is actually somewhere in there. Don't know where, but it's in there. So yeah, we'll get this loaded up. I'll get it loaded up, bring it to the shop, clean it up, and get my stuff cut out. So I'll actually grab this, and hopefully this won't take too terribly long to clean and do my welding and everything. But it is just me, so it is going to be fun dragging that steel plate and that rear axle through the snow, because I think I actually got the red truck stuck right there now. But trying to drag that shit through the snow, no bueno. But we'll get her. So set you up here and we'll get her loaded up. Okay, that turned out to be the easy part. I almost forgot. I think it will be a little bit easier if I don't need to be taking the cylinders and springs with me. But I think I am going to pull these wheels off here just to make it a little easier. And man, do I love power tools because they make life so much easier. I don't know how we did this shit before. And yes, that one has a red line tire, but that was just for my own little mock-up purposes. I absolutely love that look, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. Because right now, I don't know if it even shows up on camera. I actually colored that with a red Sharpie. I bought one of those white wall paint markers. It was supposed to be red, but it actually turned out to be more of a pink than anything. And it didn't cover with shit, so I ended up taking the red Sharpie to it, and that covered it way better and looks pretty decent. But I'll have to figure out a more permanent solution for that. And because with the hydraulics, I'm gonna have to figure out how to, well, I'm gonna have to take the drum off and pull this e-brake cable out. That one already pulled out, but with the hydraulics and the parking brake, it just ain't gonna work. It's gonna pull that out. Whenever I lift it up, it'll pull on that cable. All right, so now we're at the shop. I already got the I got the rear axle and the sheet of plate here unloaded, and I'll have to take and nice thing about work. We got these nice tall stands, so that made it a hell of a lot easier to get it out of the back of the truck, since I didn't have to go all the way down to the ground. But I'm going to take and start by getting this rear axle cleaned up a little more, so I can weld this all up solid around both these spring perches, and then knock some all this other rust off. I don't know if you can tell, but right here I had to take and actually grind these two webbings down so that I would actually clear the rear bridge in the car, so I get to sit a little bit lower. But I got the needle scaler here. I'll use this to take and knock all the heavy rust off. And I'll take the whiz wheel and get it down to bare metal, you know, once I flip it over. I pretty much already got bare metal here, but I clean these up here a little bit better. I'll have to try and clean all this up some more, so I can actually maybe hopefully weld to it. I'm not sure yet, because this is cast, and I know cast you have to preheat it to actually, you know, get good penetration and shit. But yeah, we'll start cleaning this up and we'll go from there. Well, we got the diff cleaned up for the most part. Once I go to paint it, I'll have to get in there and clean it a little bit better and all the crevices and whatnot. But where I got to weld, it's all bare metal down where I'm going to have to weld. But when I don't know if you saw it in the time lapse, but I went to go knock the drop blocks off, knock them off. This one, the pin actually stayed in the leaf spring mount. So I'll end up having to order new drop blocks here eventually now. But that's no big deal, I guess. They're fairly cheap. But now I gotta trace out the diff brace here. Some of the shit off this thing. I'll have to trace this out. So I waste as little material as possible here. And cut a couple of them out. So I'll put you up on the stand here and we'll get to tracing and cutting. the fun part.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
we got one cut out. Didn't quite go as easy as I was hoping, but that should work. Hell, maybe I'll only do one plate. Thinking about doing two. I'll have to get this one fitted here a little bit better and get a glove on here. That fits pretty decent. So I'll have to grind it up, clean it up a little bit better for around the little fins here. But for the most part, that don't fit not too shabby. I was thinking about doing some, you know, little fancy swoop designs here or anything, but I figure I'll stick to the old KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So I'll get this cleaned up. See if I'll cut another one out or not. I'm not quite sure yet. But yeah. Get this one cleaned up. Start doing some welding. And it's gotta fit better over. It's gotta fit better up here, so I got room for my cylinders here to clear. Ooh, yeah, that baby's warm. But all right, I'll get that cleaned up and we'll go from there. We got ourselves a diff brace, guys. The GoPro camera died on me while I was getting cleaning this one up, I think it was. But I decided to go with 1/2 inch. I decided to double them up just because I didn't like the way just one plate looked too thin. So I ended up doubling them up. It's not, I haven't welded it on yet, but just mocked it up. But we are getting there. And it was a royal pain in the ass to get fitted. As you can see, this is the first plate I cut out. And I had a big gap there. And then it was touching on this side. And this side is the same way. So, but that'll give me a place to weld the two plates together on the bottom here. So we'll get that welded up. I'll weld it all the way along the top here, and then I'll finish it off, grind it smooth. But that will work. And just for the hell of it, I got plenty of clearance for my rear cylinders, so there's no chance the cylinders will hit the brace. I was gonna have it standing pretty much straight up, but I figured then it would hit the cylinders would hit, so I leaned it back as much as I could, with it still fitting against the axle tubes good. The brace, I think the brace has a slight bow. Yeah, it looks like it has a slight bow to it. So I'll have to try and straighten that out. But yeah, it's got. But that's where we're at so far. I'll try and get this straightened out, and then I'll clean it up and start buzzing it on. I'll check back with you guys in a little bit, and we'll see where we're at. reinforced at the shop there. But got back here. I got that all cleaned up. Got the welds all ground down on that, so it don't look as bad. And then I did end up, I don't know if you can see it here. Rotate it up. I did actually weld to the diff right here on both sides. I thought about going all the way around here, but I got a pretty big gap there, so I decided not to. But being 1/2 inch thick, it'll be plenty strong the way it is. But not sure if I'm gonna want to clean up all these welds here or not on the spring mounts and stuff. But I do got the my mounts welded up in there for the coil springs, so that way since I got the springs cut, there's a big lip there. When those are in there, they actually sit flush. I did clean up the best I could with the wire wheel, but come springtime or summer or something, I'll probably disassemble the whole thing, put all new bearings, seals, and all that in there. And then I'll probably, when I got it put, I'll probably sandblast it so I can get, because it can't really get into all these nooks and crannies and whatnot. So I'll take the backing plates off, I'll sandblast and paint them. Still debating on if I should do it just black, paint the rear axle black, or if I should do it to match the body, which the body is going to be this, it's a TS Silver Frost, it's a Ford color. That's going to be the base coat, but I got 3 pounds, probably in the basement, of chrome flake. It's going to be just bass boat flaked out. So the underside of the car will be black, but I'm thinking rear axle, gas tank will be painted to match the body. The dash will also be painted to match too. So, but that'll be it for this episode. I do got a time lapse of cleaning up the rear axle a little bit more. I'll throw that in here. But as always, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think or what else I should change. Also on these, with the spring mount here, being that the weight is all on the front, I thought about adding a gusset going from the plate here and coming up. I've got this piece of plate, which was one of the first attempts at making it. I thought about putting that on there and then go ahead and just cut it so it'll match with a swoop here, so reinforce it, it'll match, it'll all flow. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But yeah, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later.